What would you do if you discovered that the origins of your story lie not in the hands of men, but in the promise of a God who destroyed the world to begin again? The sky roared, carrying the weight of 1,000 storms. The waters of the great flood still clung to the shattered mountains, revealing an apocalyptic scene: submerged cities, fractured ruins, and the bones of ancient giants buried in the mud. At the peak of Mount Ararat, the ark rested, a silent witness to divine wrath. As the sun rose over this desolate new world, one man stood tall. It was Noah, flanked by his sons. He looked to the heavens and murmured, "Is this the beginning or the end?" Chapter 1. The Legacy of Noah. As the floodwaters receded, the world was eerily silent, stripped of its former glory. The ark stood as a lone beacon of survival amidst an endless expanse of mud and ruin. Noah, his family, and the animals disembarked onto this cleansed yet desolate earth, tasked with rebuilding what had been lost. Gathered under the open sky, Noah turned to his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. His voice, steady but weighted with purpose, carried a prophetic blessing. To Shem, he promised the lineage of divine connection, a line that would carry spiritual heritage. To Ham, the nations of the south and their struggles. And to Japheth, the promise of expansion, of vast lands and peoples, a destiny to dwell in the tents of Shem. But Noah's words were more than blessings. They were markers of division, a map of humanity's fractured future. Beneath the serenity of the moment lay an unspoken question: what price would this new world pay for such promises? Chapter 2. Japheth and the paths to the north. Japheth's descendants became wanderers, driven by a desire to expand and claim the lands unknown. Their journey began on fertile plains, but quickly turned northward, into harsh climates where survival demanded resilience. The names of Japheth's sons, Gomer, Magog, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras, echoed across these distant lands, carried by tribes that would later shape Europe's cultural and mythological tapestry. Magog's descendants moved into the vast steppes, ancestors to fierce warriors who would dominate for centuries. Javan's lineage spread toward the warm coasts, intertwining with the early Greeks. Gomer's people pushed westward, laying the groundwork for Celtic and Germanic cultures. These migrations were not merely physical, they were spiritual acts, fulfilling the promise of Japheth's expansion. Their footsteps carved paths through uncharted territories, but with every step, they carried echoes of their origins, of the flood, the ark, and the unyielding will of their God. Chapter 3. The Journey into the Wild. The northern lands welcomed Japheth's descendants with an unforgiving embrace. Towering forests, frozen tundras, and endless mountain ranges became both their prison and their proving ground. The myths that emerged from these lands reflected the environment. Tales of giants, frost gods, and shadowy spirits that whispered warnings of the past. In the deep woods, they encountered remnants of pre-flood creatures, beings so ancient they defied comprehension. These encounters became the seeds of European folklore, shaping fears and legends that would persist for millennia. The descendants of Japheth were no longer merely survivors. They were creators, forging a new identity from the harshness of their surroundings. Yet, in their songs and stories, the flood remained a haunting memory, a reminder that the wrath of the divine could return. Chapter 4. The Lost Connection. As generations passed, the memory of Japheth's lineage began to intertwine with local myths and traditions. Scholars and storytellers would later draw parallels between biblical names and the epic sagas of Europe. Magog became a figure tied to both prophecy and fear, while Javan was remembered in the ancient seafaring exploits of the Greeks. Modern archaeology has unearthed artifacts hinting at the migrations of Japheth's people, tools, pottery, and genetic markers that connect Europe's past to a shared ancient story. Even today, some claim the genealogies of Genesis hold more than symbolic weight. They are keys to understanding the cultural DNA of entire civilizations. But with this understanding comes a sobering realization. The promise to Japheth was both a gift and a burden. The vast lands they inherited were not free of challenges, and the unity they once shared was now a distant memory. Chapter 5. A Promise for Eternity. The legacy of Japheth is etched into the very fabric of Europe. From towering cathedrals to ancient ruins, the echoes of a divine promise still resonate. The cultural, linguistic, and spiritual diversity of the continent stands as a testament to the expansion foretold by Noah. Yet, the divisions remain. The sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, still shape the dynamics of nations and their histories. Europe, born from the promise of Japheth, carries the weight of its origins while reaching toward the future. As the sun sets on the modern world, one question lingers. Can the promises of the past guide us into the unknown, or are we destined to repeat the cycle of division and renewal? The story of Japheth's descendants is not just a tale of origins. It's a reminder that history, faith, and destiny are forever entwined. Enjoying this journey through history and faith? Your support can help us continue creating content like this. If you'd like to contribute, consider making a donation through PayPal. Every bit makes a difference. The link is in the description below. God bless you.